The 8th commandment, thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. This is, written by God in stone, that we should, be truthful and honest, that we should have integrity with our words and actions. It's rooted in basically respect and love for your neighbor and community. Imagine if everyone lied continuously and slandered and gossiped about one another. Turns into a bad negative society. It turns into what's going on in DC. That's what happens. So the commandment prohibits slander and gossip, lying, in particular the ways in which it harms someone's reputation. It harms someone's relationship with one another and their well-being. It's not just about avoiding falsehoods, but really fostering honesty that that builds upon trust, and it secures that integrity. In truth, our words do shape our reality and our community and our relationships. Giving false witness, misinterpreting someone's words, and intentionally misinforming others, disinforming others, whether it's through gossip, slander, or perjury, that can devastate people's lives. It can destroy relationships and undermine government and society. Again, we see that in DC. A single lie in a courtroom. This also implies those giving false witness towards, in legal matters. Gravely, it's very, very immoral. It's very sinful to give false witness, especially in a courtroom, in front of a judge, and so forth, in front of the public. Deceptively misusing words as lawyers. That's why lawyers have a bad rap of being liars. That's because they stretch the truth sometimes and misrepresent the facts. Violates the dignity of others, especially the innocent. We're all called to love one another, especially our neighbors, and to not bear false witness against them. How about in daily life? Family relationships especially, exaggerating stories, spreading rumors, or misrepresenting facts. Social media amplifies the temptation to do so, where bearing false witness can spread like wildfire, and no one's held accountable. So the commandment urges charity and discernment, and to encourage us to verify the facts. Do not lie, do not spread gossip and slander, especially without knowing the facts. If you got one little tidbit, and then your assumptions, the temptation to continue whatever it is you're stretching, don't do that. So the commandment urges charity and discernment, and encourages us to verify the facts before speaking about them. Moreover, it's not just about avoiding lies. It's also about, cultivating honesty and trust, integrity, where, words align with the truth, and it respects others. It requires humility to admit that when we're wrong. It requires, even the courage to speak the truth when we're here that it is not being spoken correctly, to clarify and correct someone who is speaking wrongly, the wisdom to know when to just be quiet. I run into that a lot in confession, when people they're not trying to pass along, whatever this information is, this bit of news is, this gossip, this, rumor, but they get sucked into it sometimes, and then they don't know how to get out of it. So I tell them, you don't have to participate. You can be quiet. You can change the subject. I try to encourage people to be, neutral about it and don't participate in the sin, because before you know it, you have, and it'll weigh on your conscience. So honoring our neighbor means, speaking, not tearing them down, but building them up, being there for them, helping them. Life is hard as it is. We don't need people spreading rumors and gossip. I've had enough of that, and just as a pastor and a priest, it's incredible how fast rumors go around in a parish community, or just a small community in general. I ran into that a lot in one of my previous parishes. So, live faithfully in the 8th commandment by telling the truth always. It requires vigilance and integrity, and courage to say, no, that's not true. I don't think that's true. You should, sometimes we avoid conflict and we don't correct when the opportunity comes. So, embellishing stories, resisting the temptation to assassinate someone's character just because you don't like them. Maybe they are a bad person. Maybe they're slandering and gossiping others. Don't return evil for evil. Speak up when people are misrepresenting. If it means checking the facts or giving people the benefit of the doubt, I think that's important too. Especially with the social media digital age. Information spreads instantly and it's permanent in some cases. So, this ancient law written by God to the Hebrews in Israel, when the Israelites were in the desert at Mount Sinai, God wrote with his own finger on stone tablets with Moses this commandment, the 8th commandment, thou shalt not bear false witness. So, is it relevant today? Absolutely. Everyone is struggling with this. It's one of the most common sins people come to confession for. And social media does not help. It actually makes it worse because there's no accountability and people can easily get away with it, especially when everyone's online, listening and contributing to the garbage. And, it's just what it is. It's just people need to start just telling the truth. That's really, at the end of the day, what you need to do. Whether something's true or false, our phones are linked up globally, and it's not right to assassinate someone's character by spreading lies and rumors, especially when they are grave or serious. I had one in my last community I was with where someone spread a lie that spread, and it wasn't true, but it never died down. People actually still believe it to this day. So it can happen, and defamation is a real serious sin in this commandment. So 8th commandment, love thy neighbor as thyself, so therefore we should not bear false witness against them. Reminds us to tell the truth always, have integrity and the honor of speaking the truth on behalf of Jesus, who is the life, the truth, and the way. It's not merely a legal obligation, but a morally one. So God bless.